Hi, I'm Mike Haynes along with Peter McNabb. And Peter, for Avalanche fans, great news Saturday night. We're starting to see the Avalanche score some goals.
Yeah, you just talk to the players. You can feel the confidence starting to build. You know, they've had 10 goals the last 3 games for the Colorado Avalanche, but it's the way that they've been scoring them. They've been talking about this. Going to the front of that, Landeskog tips one in, first goal of the game, a big one against the Dallas Stars. Go to the front of that, you'll get a rebound. Tanguay, nice job by Everberg. Tanguay picks up the rebound, pops it home. And then, you know, for the Colorado Avalanche, they do have some skill. And Tanguay, nice play to Everberg. That made it 4-1. A very complete, maybe as complete a win as the Avalanche have had all season.
And that's what Patrick Roy, the coach of the Avalanche, wants, and what he saw against Dallas, a complete game. That has to continue.
Absolutely. And for the Avalanche, the thing that Patrick Roy was talking about yesterday, they won the first period, they won the second period, they won the third period against Dallas. They were the better club in each one of the periods, and that leads to a lot of victories for the Avalanche.
Tonight's opponent, the Arizona Coyotes, a team right now out of the playoff picture, which means will some players be staying? Will they be traded? A couple of guys who might have some interest around the league. Defenseman Keith Yandle, Antoine Vermette, great centerman who can win faceoffs.
Oh, yeah, these guys are highly coveted. In Vermette, what you have is an experienced guy that can give you, Mike, 18, 20 goals a year. But where he is really good, faceoffs and defensively. And you look at the Rangers, 29th in faceoffs in the National Hockey League. Calgary, 28th. There are clubs desperate for that one guy they can count on to not only to score some goals, but to win some big draws. And Vermette will do that. But the guy, Yandle, I mean, I just cannot every year believe that this guy, I mean, he's got, you know, he's got 40 points already this season. He's second in the league in assists on the power play. So whatever if they do decide to move it, he's going to bring back a king's ransom because he is that guy. We all know how important those guys that can score on the power play are in the playoffs. They can make or break, not just a game, but a series. So Yandle again is sitting there waiting. Is this the year? So far, apparently, it's 10 teams in the last 2 weeks he's going to. So it's not an easy time for players on these kind of clubs.
Yep. Avalanche Coyotes playing for the second time this season. They met earlier. The Avalanche came back from a 3-0 deficit to beat the Coyotes. The Avs trying to put together a winning streak. They beat the Dallas Stars on Saturday, and tonight trying to make it 2 in a row as they take on the Coyotes.
Welcome to the Altitude Sports Game Break. Todd Romero here in the Altitude Studios, getting you set for Avalanche hockey. 26 games remain in the regular season, 8 points out of a playoff spot, which means every single game is a playoff game. Let's get you to the arena. Mike Haynes standing by with Dennis Everberg.
Thank you so much, Todd. Well, Dennis, this is your 32nd game in the National Hockey League. Tell me, what has been your most favorite part about playing in the NHL and for the Avalanche this season?
Well, it's everything, probably. I mean, every game is so fun, and it's full crowd almost everywhere, so it's just awesome.
Well, you had a great game the other night, a goal and an assist, and the team won. What did you guys do the other night against Dallas you want to continue to do tonight to get a win?
I mean, we got the first goal, and we kind of continued going hard. We didn't step off the gas or anything, so we got to do the same thing tonight.
Okay, have a great game. Congratulations on the big night the other night. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, Dennis. Back to you now, Todd.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. The Colorado Avalanche looking for back-to-back wins. They certainly need it. The Kings come in a couple days. These are must-win games for your Avalanche. You see the Avs taking the ice puck drop against the Coyotes. Those Desert Dogs coming up next on Altitude.
Colorado Avalanche Hockey on Altitude is brought to you by Dodge. See your local Dodge dealer and experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Or go to Dodge.com and check out our powerful lineup. Jack in the Box. Try the legendary Buttery Jack from Jack in the Box today. And by Chevy. Stop into your Colorado Chevy dealer today to learn about the Chevy Silverado. Strong for all the roads ahead. Cold night in Denver, but the Avalanche want to continue their hot streak after a win against Dallas on Saturday, taking on the Arizona Coyotes here tonight at Pepsi Center. Let's look at the Ford starting lineup, and we'll begin with the goaltenders. And here's a name for Arizona, Peter, that fans probably don't know anything about.
And you know what? What an interesting career he has had. And we'll get into it as the game goes along. Semyon Varlamov back in nets for the Colorado Avalanche. Mike McKenna, not Mike Smith, in goal for these now Arizona Coyotes. Mike, just give you, he started with Las Vegas in the East Coast Hockey League, in the ECHL. He has been on 12 different teams in 9 different cities in the American Hockey League. And Mike, you talk about a journeyman. He is 31 years old, and he has earned this start tonight with Arizona, and is just talking with the coaches. They love giving him this opportunity. It's his first game of the season for Arizona.
I said Mike Smith not feeling real good right now, a little under the weather. So McKenna gets his opportunity. Now, he has played in the National Hockey League before, but his first start with the Coyotes. And we're underway. Arizona and Colorado. Formerly known as the Phoenix Coyotes. They changed their name this season to become the Arizona Coyotes. Max Talbot has the puck. You can see the Avs wearing their 3rd jersey, those blue jerseys. And good luck for this team. They're 6-1 this year when they've worn their 3rd jersey. Puck comes out to center ice. Goes back into the Coyote zone. Picked up by Andrew Campbell. We move out to center ice to the red line. And pass slowed up, but then smacked around by Martin Erat. And we got a whistle. Play is coming to a halt here in our first period.
Well, it's been a long, frustrating year for Dave Tippett. Now, this is a club that, Mike, this is the 3rd year in a row they'll miss the playoffs. But the 3 years previous to that, Mike, they averaged 101 points. It just everything with injuries and this and that. Mike Smith would get hurt, the goaltender that led them into the playoffs. And so the last couple of years have been very tough in the desert.
He is, though, the winningest coach in franchise history.
And he's a good coach, Mike. He's a really good coach.
Shot gets blocked in front of the net, comes back to the point. Shot got through. Great save by Varlamov. Well, that one came through some traffic. Just got that right pad out in time. Campbell's shot, and that is stopped by Varlamov. So he's been tested a couple of times here in the early going.
Well, Patrick Roy at his press conference yesterday, one of the things he really wanted to stress, the Avalanche played from minute 1 to minute 60, not exactly, but as close to exactly as he'd like to see them play. They got the first goal, made it 1-0. The second period, they got the second goal, 2-0. They won every period against Dallas, and they were in control of the game, and he wants to see that here tonight.
Back to the point after the draw. Sent across by Yandel. Gets it back, and he sends off a rocket that got tipped wide. Carried through center ice by Mitchell. Broken up. Yandel got it back. Makes a pass out to center ice. Coyotes have had the first couple of shots on net. Dropped in the corner. In the slot. Get in. Shoot. Save. Rebound. Mitchell's got it. Waits. Turns. Has it again. He shoots. And it went off of McKenna and wide. Back to the point. Get it. Keeps it alive for the Avalanche. Finds John Mitchell. Poke check, but keeps control of the puck. Behind the net for Tanguay. Gives to Everberg. Coming off a strong game with a goal and an assist against Dallas. Puck slowed up. Kicked around. Chance. Chip by Mitchell. Blocked. Back to the point. Held in by Barry. Puts the puck around. Everberg cuts it off. Centered for Tanguay. What a shift here for the Avalanche. And then the puck stolen back. Sam Gagner skates out to center, shifts the puck in, and gets a change. But that was a strong shift there for Colorado.
Remember, Patrick Roy just last game, shifting up some lines, getting some different looks for the Avalanche. And he's loved how this line, Everberg going to the front of the net, Tanguay handling the puck, Mitchell taking the shots.
The Avs have had the last 2 shots on net. Bouncing puck. McKenna can't get a glove on it. Turned around the boards and kept in. Shot down low, kick, save, rebound, score! Code McLeod, and it is a 1-0 lead for the Avalanche. McLeod with his 5th of the year.
Mike, it doesn't always work this way, but it's almost as if that one shift the Avalanche had got everybody pumped up on the bench. I was watching them on the bench, and they were all standing up for that last shift by the Mitchell line. Now the next line comes up, and they're pumping at it, they're going at it, and they do exactly the same thing. They get net presence. That's a big word now in hockey. Nice job by Carey. Carey's going to pick up his first NHL point, Cody McLeod, first star last game against the Dallas Stars.
Another chance score! Matt Duchene! And it's 2-0 for the Avs. Duchene with his 15th of the year. And after the Coyotes started out strong, had some good chances. Boy, the Avs are coming like a tidal wave right now. And a 2-0 lead for Colorado.
And what a pass by again. Now this is literally right off the faceoff. The Avalanche again driving into the zone. Watch the pass here. Spin turn by Duchene. But Mike, again, the Avalanche have been doing this real well. Now we're talking about 3 games, Mike, where they scored 10 goals. Now what are we? 3 minutes into this game? That's 12 goals now that the Avalanche have in 3 and a short part of this game. But again, found Duchene, and Duchene was driving to the net, chips it up and over, and the Avalanche do exactly what they wanted to do inside of this hockey game. Let's have one more look at this, at Duchene's goal, as this, again, this line has been reconstructed. Talbot's done such a great job. He just comes over to Duchene, but just look at the pass. He turns, looks, fires it through. Talbot, you know, it doesn't look like Talbot does a lot there, Mike, but he does. He ties up the stick of number 5, so he couldn't put it in the passing lane.
All right, let's show you the Jeep scoring summaries. First of all, the Avalanche get a goal from Cody McLeod. By the way, his 100th career point. Paul Carey and Jan Hayda with the assist. And then Matt Duchene, that's his 299th point. Jerome McGinley gets the sole assist. His shot goes wide, back into the corner. Picked up and taken away by the Coyotes. So there's your Jeep scoring summaries. A couple of goals for the Avs just coming just that quickly. 2 goals, Peter, in 9 seconds. Here's Chance Stone down low. Big save made by Varlamov. Hayter runs into the net, dislodges it, so that's the reason for the stop. Those are the kind of saves that Varlamov makes. You have all this momentum. If Coyotes come down and score a goal, Peter, all the air comes out of the building.
And what happened against the New York Rangers? Bad line change, and Boyle scores to make it 1-0 in that game. And that was a big goal in that one. Tonight, bad line change again, but Semyon Varlamov makes the save instead of 2-1. And as you say, now it's flattened out. It's still 2-0. The crowd gets a cheer for a big save.
Yandel. Puck into the corner. Round up for McKinnon. Pass up ice, bounced off the stick of Landeskog. Center ice. Shot back in by Michael Stone. Leads the team in hits with 135. Quick pass by Holden. Streaking through the middle, McKinnon. Check to the ice by Stone. He gets another hit. And the puck comes up for Erat. He gets smacked along the boards by Landeskog. And the puck launched out to center ice. Bounces for the Avs to take, and it's O'Reilly who handles the puck for the Avalanche. 2-0 for the Avs, 2 goals in 9 seconds for Colorado. Pass up the boards, got by Gagne, and Arizona called for icing.
Well, so much to talk around the National Hockey League. There's another big trade made yesterday. Nashville picks up a couple of what I think are great pieces for their club. Franzen and Santorelli, Mike, and it's just an interesting time around the National Hockey League. 15 days till the trade deadline, and everybody, all those clubs out of it, looking to get better for next year. And some clubs looking better, Mike, looking forward to get better this year.
Well, Peter, 9 seconds apart. That ties a franchise record. They'll go back to 2002 season and 1997 it happened. With the puck high in the slot, shot, blocker save made by McKenna. And it's backhanded up and out, and it's a race for the puck. Coyotes have got it. Nice! Back check by Mitchell. Smacked it away from Lesio. And it prevented another 2-on-1 to really develop for the Coyotes.
2-on-1, Mike, with a forward back. You know, you're 2-0. Let's keep the game in front of us, guys.
I always said that franchise record, Peter, 9 seconds, tied on the average. In the history of the NHL, fastest, 3 seconds.
Now, you know,
He almost had to shoot it from the face-off circle mid-ice.
Yeah, but it's got to be one of those ones where when the old days, where the timekeeper was in the box and was yawning or something, he didn't like right away start it. You can't get there in 3 seconds.
Oh, 2-0 for the Avs. Great start here. Varlamov has come up with a couple of really nice saves, including a 2-on-1 opportunity that he thwarted when the Coyotes were rolling in on him. Puck launched out to center, bouncing towards Varlamov, and he almost had that poked away from him by Martinook. But it is controlled by Varlamov. We'll be back. More first period play. McLeod with his 100th career point, and Duchesne with a goal as well.
Mike, there's not a single player very few players I've ever met that I enjoy talking to much about honest hockey situations. But after last game, I was talking to Cody. You look at how his ice time has just increased with the responsibility that Patrick Roy has given him to be that guy, killing penalties, regular strength. I'll get back to the story in a second. He was after the game. He said, "What do you think? Did I deserve that?"
The first star?
No. The penalty. I said, well, the guy's lip was split open, and what would you have done if the guy had done that to you? And you're right, same thing.
There to center, dumped in, and grabbed by Hayden. Pushed off the glass, and the puck scoots out to center ice. Yandel backing up into his own zone. Looking to make a play, a little pressure. Floats the puck across into the neutral zone. Stone whacking at it. Duchesne scooped it up. Avalanche with goals from McLeod and Duchesne. Leading the game 2-0. And out shooting the Coyotes 6-3. Coach Tippett, after that second goal was scored by the Coyotes, used his timeout. So he used his timeout very early. Certainly didn't like the way things were going. And called his timeout. Carried down towards center. Ekman Larson. What a year he is having. Leads the team in a number of different categories, including time on ice and shifts per game. Backhander across the crease by McKinnon. Reverse back around. Facing the near side by Landeskog. To the point. Shot by Holden. Misses the net. The Avalanche and the Coyotes have played a game already this season. And the Avs won that one in overtime. Let's take a look at tonight's winning combo presented by Blackjack Pizza.
Continued offensive production for the Avalanche. Couldn't have a much better start than they had in tonight's game. And cover Ekman Larson. He is dangerous every time he's on the puck. He shoots the puck really well. He finds the opening, hits the net, something that's very difficult to do when you're a point man in the National Hockey League these days.
He had 191 shots, second most in the National Hockey League. So he's not afraid to unload that shot. Mentioned the Avalanche have beaten the Coyotes already this season. That was a game in which the Coyotes had a 3-0 lead against the Avs, and they just chipped away, came back, and eventually Danny Briere with an overtime winner for the Avalanche. On the point, Holden's shot slowed up, but it's picked up by Tanguay. Back towards the point, it slips out to center. You know, I've heard you talk about the last couple of games, especially Alex Tanguay, how quick he gets the puck. Was that a perfect example? It seemed like he just accelerated as soon as that puck came loose. Shot and a kick saved by McKenna.
Absolutely, and it's defensively. He attacks the guy. Because, you know, a smart player, Mike, understands that I hate to get rushed with the puck. When I have the puck, what I want is a guy coming slow at me so I can do things. What's the most dangerous thing a guy can do when I have the puck? He's coming at me. He's coming hard to stick us in the right position. And Tanguay does that. I mean, he doesn't coast. He just doesn't coast. His feet are moving at the man all the time.
But that was just what we just saw. That was a perfect example of that. That puck came free, and boy, he was on. He wanted that puck. Up to the corner. Backhanded around behind the net by Connor Murphy. Roby Reeder takes a pass out to center. Launched in wide of the net. Gleason sends it around the end board. Picked up by Tyson Barrie. And the Avs defenseman launches it back the other way. And it's steered wide by the goaltender Mike McKenna. Then back into the Avalanche zone. Zach Redmond chasing the puck down. And it comes free for Mitchell to take. Lead pass to center ice. And the defenseman Redmond leading the rush. Carries to the corner. And from behind the net, Joe Vitale makes a pass over the far wing, scooped out to center ice. And Jan Hayda puts the puck across. Jan Hayda, Brad Stewart both had to leave the ice on Saturday night with injuries and came back to play the rest of the game. And Stewart said afterwards, it felt like a train ran me over. He collided with Nick Holden on what ended up being a goal. He took the shot. He and Holden, the two defensemen, collided. A steal, shot, gets blocked by Redmond. Loose puck to the top of the circle. The shot gets blocked. Another chance, score! And it is Oliver Ekman-Larsson. There's that perfect example, Peter, what you just talked about with him. That was just a bullet.
But how many times have we seen guys shoot from that area that gets blocked?
They don't go in.
The first two guys shot, they got blocked. Somehow when this kid shoots, it goes through. It gets through all of the masses of people in front. Here's a block, that's a second block shot, and now it goes back to him on the side, and look at the numbers of people in front. And somehow it goes right into that, just the perfect spot, and then Arizona, gets within one on you'd like to say seeing eye, but it doesn't seem to be for him. It seems to be where he shoots it.
You're close to over 200 shots already at this point in the season. You're getting it through. And there's a guy, Peter, he is 17th goal of the season. I believe he leads the NHL defenseman in goals. And he just added another one.
In 2008, Mike, there have only been two defensemen, Carlson and Weber, both last year, to get to 20 goals. And he's got 17, so barring an injury, he's
on a team that doesn't score much.
No, they have 85-on-5 goals.
Carried through center, and in by the Coyotes. Shot gets tipped wide of the net. Well, after that timeout was called by Coach Tippett, Coyotes calmed things down a little bit. And now with that goal by Ekman-Larsson, they've made this a game. Bobachowski, hand off behind the net, back to the point for Stone. He shoots wide. It's cut off and banked out to center. And Yandel streaking across. Plays it up ice for Erat to take. Through the middle with a pass. No connection. And icing called on Arizona.
Well, starting tonight, Mike, you talk about a busy week around the National Hockey League. I want to get this statistic correct. There's 7 days, Monday through Sunday. Mike, there are 54 games this week. That's 8 games a night. I believe it's 15 teams play 4 times, and the New York Islanders play 5 times Monday through Sunday. 2 back-to-backs in the same week. I mean, a lot of people are going to make a move this week. A lot of teams.
You're talking about in the standings.
In the standings.
But also, I think, Peter, now you're setting up trading deadline, which is just 2 weeks away. And how things go this weekend may spell the difference whether you're buyer or seller for the trade deadline.
It's funny. Well, we'll get into it in a minute about how the trade affects different teams.
All right, we'll talk about that and how this game is going with the Avs leading Arizona 2-1 in the first period in Denver.
Back at Pepsi Center, it's 2-1 Avalanche. Just a few moments ago, the Avs welcomed Don Benny as the Av for a day. He's a 93-year-old World War II veteran attending tonight's game as part of a Wish of a Lifetime event. He came to the morning skate, he met the team, he got some autographs, got some team merchandise, and had dinner in the Peak Pub. An absolute pleasure, Mike and Pete, to meet him, shake his hand, and so cool that his wish of a lifetime came true here tonight.
Here's a chance down low, a save backhander, knocked down, loose puck, and it's tipped out to center ice by the Coyotes. Oh, there's a flurry there for the Avalanche.
But another good shift for this line. This Mitchell line really has, they haven't been together too long, but they're getting some chemistry.
Offside, Coyotes. Let's look back at that little flurry that we just saw for Colorado.
And when you're scoring goals, the things that you've been talking about seem to come into play. Drive to the net, getting shots on net, not worrying about fancy plays. Just get the puck on net. Right there, example, the Avalanche had 3 cracks at it. They weren't looking for anything other to do than to shoot that puck.
From center, shut in by Murphy of Arizona. Grabbed by McLeod, pushed down to center. Peter, you're telling us before we went to the break about teams and how they get affected around this trade deadline time.
Oh, just the mental part of it. In Canada, it is like a national holiday, the trade deadline. We've been up in Canada a couple of times. And, Mike, it starts at like 6 in the morning and goes till 8 at night. They analyze everything. And sometimes it's excruciatingly boring, because there won't be a trade for 4 or 5 hours. And these guys have to recap the best trade of the 1975, the best trade of 19... But then all of a sudden, it seems every year, there'll end up being 12, 14, 20 trades right in the last part of the day.
Good for the puck for the Avs. Played it towards the near side. Hook back behind the net for Duchesne. To the point. Shot. Gets blocked and cleared out by the Coyotes. 7:10 left, first period. 2-1 lead for the Avalanche. Ekman Larsson back toward the puck. This Coyotes team has lost their last 3 games. Gets into the blue line by Barry. That's a delay offside. Coyotes do have possession. Murphy to center. Pass up ice for Shane Doan. Grab behind the net. Bouncing puck. Out to center ice comes Tyson Barry. Moves in over the line. Pulls up. Pass down low. And Landeskog was charged in the front of the net. Couldn't get there in time to redirect it in. McKinnon dancing along the boards. Back for Barry. He shoots. Saved by McKenna. Big rebound there, but it's cleared away by the Coyotes. Barry finds the puck behind his own net. Reversed it for Landeskog to take. Brings it back to Gennon. Slides it over to Barry. Up ice for O'Reilly. To Landeskog. Through the middle for McKinnon. Coming wide. He shoots. Oh, man. McKinnon had to go off his glove, but then it went wide. Back to the far side. Redmond. To the corner. Handoff to Landeskog. Steps in. He shoots off the shoulder of McKenna, and he's able to cover the rebound. Avs are out shooting Arizona 11-4. They lead the game by a goal. Time for Did You Know? Presented by Stevenson Automotive. Here's tonight's question. Besides Jerome McGinley and Shane Doan, who is the only other active player from the 1995 entry draft? C1, Steven Robidoff. C2, Wade Redden. C3, Radek Dvorak. 53548. Number 2, a text to win an Avalanche prize pack. Avalanche now with 12 shots on net in this first period. Just 4 for the Coyotes. They had the first 2 of the game. And only 2 sets. One of them by Ekman Larsson did go in. And it's 2-1. That's our score. McLeod, Duchesne with the goals for the Avs. Oliver Ekman Larsson with the goal for the Coyotes. Puck is shot out of play. Avalanche think that's a penalty. And that's indeed going to be the call. Joe Vitale is headed towards the Arizona penalty box. And the Avalanche are going to get a power play opportunity.
14, minor foul for delaying the game.
Now this is just good hard work. This line has worked hard. Paul Carey back in the lineup, Mike. He picked up his first assist of his NHL career. First point in 17 games with the Avalanche during the regular season. But Patrick Roy said he's in the lineup because he's fast and he finishes his check. And that's what he's added with this line with Cleach and McLeod.
They have scored the power play, a lucky winner. We'll get Avalanche tickets to an upcoming game courtesy of American Lifestyle Furniture. For a chance to win, registered AFWOnline.com/altitude. Avs this season went 0 for 2 against the Coyotes in their first meeting. Score! There is the power play goal. And it breaks an 0 for 32 slump. And the Avalanche are up 3-1. But more importantly, perhaps, they get a power play goal. They've been searching for this for 12 games.
And this is a club they've had real good success with on the power play. Colorado Avalanche. I believe this will be their 7th power play goal in the last 6 games. And they've won, like they're 4-1 the last 5 against Arizona. But this is a sigh of relief sort of situation. Good puck movement, people in front of the net. Alex Tanguay in front, doing a good job of screening. Like they say it's take away the eyes. So what they mean is the goalie can't see the puck. All he can do is hope it hits him.
It did not hit him. It went in, and the Avalanche are up 3-1. They get the power play goal.
Avalanche goal! Scoring his 5th goal of the season.
Stone with the puck for the Coyotes. Pass behind the net for Yandel. Out to center ice.
Assisted by number
Out into
22,
the Colorado
Zach
zone.
Redmond.
Get it.
And number 9, Duchesne.
Feeds out to center.
A power play goal.
Pushed in by Mitchell to the corner.
Of the first period. Holden from Redmond.
Played up off the shelf. Drop down. Landeskog loses the puck. Carried through center. Over the line. Gagne into the slot. Carried to the near side. Wing. Lesio. And it's out in front, covered by the goaltender, Semyon Varlamov. So the Avs get a power play goal from Nick Holden. Redmond, now with his second assist. They had added an assist on the second goal that was scored by Duchesne for Zach Redmond. So Duchesne with a goal and assist, Redmond with a couple of assists in the game.
And for Matt Duchesne, you know, Mike, he's done such a good, I keep coming back to the point, at even strength, he's tied for 20th in the league in points at even strength. The power play has been holding him back a little bit as far as having better numbers, but now he gets an assist. All the little things working for the Avalanche offensively over the course of the last few games.
Murphy's shot goes wide. Kyle Chikura gives the puck to Stone. Drops it off. Carried up the far side wing by Lesio. Back to the point. Shot gets blocked. There's going to be a penalty on the Avalanche. And the Coyotes, and this may surprise you, they have the second best power play on the road in the National Hockey League this season.
How do you like these numbers for the,
Colorado's number 29, minor penalty for hooking.
as we look at the penalty? The Phoenix Coyotes now have, coming into tonight's game, Mike, they scored 125 goals total, everything included, 27. They had 85 on 5 goals, Mike. That's 29. They have 36 power play goals, tied for 4th in the league, and it is primarily Ekman Larsson and Yandel. Yandel has done a great job moving the puck, Larsson shooting the puck.
Avalanche penalty. Number 29.
So Nathan MacKinnon in the penalty box, a hooking penalty at 16-13.
16 minutes, 13 seconds of the first
And the
period.
Coyotes work on the power play. We said second best in the league on the road. Pass broken up at the line. Shot back by Talbot into the Arizona zone. McKenna will set it. Yandel through center. Cross-ice pass. Tipped in. But the guy to watch, of course, is Ekman Larsson. He's got 9 power play goals this season. Now, he's not on the ice currently. Erat for the Coyotes. To the point. There's Ekman Larsson, number 23 for the Coyotes. He's got 9 power play goals. Erat's shot gets blocked. Fights off the defender. Gagne walking in. He shoots the save by Varlamov. And the puck struck around the boards. Cut off by Erat. Nice pass back to Ekman Larsson. Fakes the shot to Yandel. Back Ekman Larsson with a shot. Well, that puck just zings off his stick. Back into the slot. And the pass is taken away by O'Reilly. 40 seconds left in McKinnon's penalty. Yandel coming out in the center. Gotta wait. Gets the dome. Snaps the pass across. Nice pass by Vermette. Had to go through the legs. He got some pressure. Back to the point. Slid across for Yandel. Down the slot. Back to Yandel. Kicked away by the Avs. And Tanguay couldn't get it out of the zone. Yandel kept it in. Flips a pass across. Just 5 seconds left to go in the penalty. Cross-ice pass. Picked off. And that was Dennis Everberg got in the way. He's doing a little penalty killing as you see McKinnon coming out of the box. The Avs got a power play goal, and they killed a penalty here in the first period. And we're down the last 90 seconds of the period. Offside, Coyotes. Luxury has an address. Cooney Lexus invites you to see the full line of Lexus all-weather drive sedans and luxury utility vehicles for 2015. They're available at Cooney Lexus of Greenwood Village and Colorado Springs.
Good look at Dennis Everberg, rookie, 22-year-old rookie from Sweden, Mike. Great interview last game. I mean, he was just so happy. A goal and an assist. And Mike, since being called up, just a little under 11, all the way up to over 14 minutes a game he has played for the Avalanche. He is getting important ice time on that third line.
That's had the puck. Another rush up ice. Redmond with a couple of assists already in this game. Poke checks as he came to the blue line. And a steal by Vitale. He loses it back to the Avs. Duchesne, cross ice pass. McGinley shoots. And the puck is loose into the corner. Andrew Campbell puts the puck back at the center ice. Aaron down the wing by Holden. He shoots, saved by McKenna. And a puck grab by Murphy back behind the net. Or Lesio, excuse me, moves the puck. Handle sends it off the glass. And flipped ahead. Back into the end zone. Offside, Arizona.
Well, for the Colorado Avalanche, Mike, it certainly doesn't get easier after tonight. And you look at the Avalanche.
Talking about the competition.
The competition.
Right?
The pre-March 2nd day, the Avalanche go Stanley Cup champions. They've got 13 teams are in the playoffs. 13 teams are out of the playoffs in the 26 games. But they got LA, Chicago, Tampa Bay, at Nash, at Dallas, home to Minnesota. That Minnesota game is the last game before the trade deadline. So it's big games. I mean, a lot of important points right there.
10 seconds left to go. The Avalanche with a power play goal here in this first period. They had not scored a power play goal. He had to go all the way back to January 15th when Nick Holden scored a goal against the Panthers in Florida. Strong period for the Avs. They had 15 shots, held the Coyotes to only 5. Get a power play goal, kill a penalty. Here they did just about everything they wanted to do in that period.
Absolutely. There was good energy. There was good puck movement. There was good net presence. And again, now you're looking at the Avalanche. You know, you say they did a terrific job in the third period against the Rangers. 3 good periods against Dallas. Now they're stacking on another real good period here against Arizona.
And they lead it with goals from McLeod, Duchesne, and Holden. It's 3-1 for Colorado. After the break is the Toyota Intermission Report. Avalanche, terrific first period. They lead the Coyotes 3-1, outshot them 15-5. There are a lot of good things to talk about for the Avalanche during that first period against Arizona.
Yeah, but you just break it down the way it's supposed to be. Good effort, good hustle, and the first goal of the game. Always important. And this line just banging away down low. On that particular goal, milestone, Cody McLeod, 100 points, carry his first point in the National Hockey League. And then Matt Duchesne, just a beautiful pass from McGinley. Driving the net, stick on the ice, makes it 2-0. Semyon Varlamov, when the score was 2-0, best save of the period for him as he comes across and just robs the Arizona Coyotes on that play. And a power play goal, Mike, how many times have we been saying if they get this power play goal, it'll extend the lead or it'll tie the game up. Instead of a 1-goal lead in Arizona, very comfortable in the game. Okay, we took it. Now it's a 2-goal game. Now you're chasing. Now if you're Arizona, who struggles to score goals, you got to chase it a little bit.
Here we go to the second period. Mitchell sends the puck back into his own zone. Redmond. A little help from Mitchell. Swatted out to center. Stone for Arizona. Shoots it in. Redmond picks it up. His career high in the NHL with 2 assists in this game. And the puck rolls all the way back in to the Arizona zone. Smashed around and down the ice. Icing called against the Arizona Coyotes.
And lost in it all, of course, Matt Duchesne picked up his second assist, Mike, or apparent goal, assist, 2 points, now 300 points in the National Hockey League. And, you know, Mike, you look at it now for Matt Duchesne, we were staying at the top of the show, that's points in the last 4 games. 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. And now 8 points in 8 of the last 11 games for Matt Duchesne.
Raced into the corner. Yandle and McKinnon. Stick comes free. That was Yandle's. Barry had pinched in. Circle behind the net, makes the handoff to McKinnon. Pushed away from him, but waiting at the blue line is O'Reilly. McKinnon stick handling through some traffic. Works his way to the half boards. Pass slides all the way back to the point for Barry. Shoots it around. Behind the net, McKinnon's got it again. Stone's trying to stay with him. Coming out from behind the net, Landeskog pass. Shot up high by Barry. Back to the corner. Landeskog again with a puck. His pass tipped. Poked free momentarily by Landeskog. Hammered back in by Gennon. Yandle's got it for the Coyotes. Pass up ice. Slipped by the linesman. He said, go down to the ice. Well, that's a scary moment.
Going right at his head. He just said, nope, I'm going down.
I don't care how this looks. It's better than how it would look if it hits my head.
That's right. No style points. 10 stitches or style point. You know, I'll go down.
Yeah, absolutely. Erat in the corner, battling with Tyson Barry. Punch free, and then knocked out to center ice by Iginla. Coyotes got it back. Chipchura out to center ice, long pass. No connection, and we got a icing call again on the Coyotes.
Like just at practice yesterday, having some conversations with some of the players, just the different personalities you have in a hockey club. You know, you see Cody McLeod. He had 30 penalty minutes in that last game. We all know how Cody plays. And Matt Duchene was saying, you know, I don't think I've had 30 penalty minutes in the last 2 years. Actually, 31. You know, and it just, but all of these players have to come together. It all has to work to be a team. And it really is an interesting mix of the guys on a hockey club. Some guys play 20 minutes. Some guys play 7, 8, 10 minutes. And you're all teammates, and it's fascinating to watch the interaction.
Although Cody can say, hey, it's the same amount of goals you have in the first period. To Duchene. Each with one. Jones slides the puck, bounce back to the point. Kept in play by Murphy. He's in, he shoots. And the tip sends the puck wide. Campbell holds it in for the Coyotes. Chipchura behind the net. Taking off his skates, makes the pass. Alessio broken up, and Duchene hustles out the center. Pass up ice for Iginla. Waits, moves in, got some room to shoot. He does. The save made, and the puck cleared out by the Coyotes. Not deep enough for an icing call. 3 minutes into the second period. Redmond, oh boy, was able to push that one ahead one-handed. Gagne to center for the Coyotes. Lifted in. Broken up by Carey. Back to the Coyotes. Shot. It's tipped back to center ice. A race for the puck. Carey with that speed. Able to get to it. Drags the puck into the corner. Near the end of last year, then even to the playoffs, Paul Carey was around with his team.
Oh, absolutely. Played 3 playoff games for the Avalanche against Minnesota in that first round series. And Mike, you're right. I mean, he can skate.
At center ice. Now, he had been called up, played a couple of games. In fact, this is his second game against the Coyotes this season. He's been called up earlier a couple of times, and for his third call-up, and getting some playing time last couple of games. Drop pass for Erat in the slot. Shot goes wide by Ekman-Larsson. Erat moves behind the net. Stick checked away from him. The puck comes straight. Mitchell up ice, and the puck cut off at the red line by Ekman-Larsson. Korpikoski squeezed away from the puck. And Ekman-Larsson back to handle it for Arizona. Long pass, bank, right from the penalty box area. Ekman-Larsson steps up with the puck. He shoots, and a tip by Barry sends the puck out of play. All right, let's go ringside. Here's Kyle Keefe.
All right, guys, you had already talked about a couple milestones reached tonight for Duchene and, of course, Cody McLeod. How about Gabe Landeskog? 2 assists. He needs 2 assists to reach his 100. And then Alex Tanguay, 7 games away from game number 1,000. I was talking with Matt Kroll, one of our producers. Tanguay was drafted in 1998. If he should play 5 more years and make it to 2020, Mike, he would have played in the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2000s. He would have played in 4 decades.
Right.
That's pretty awesome.
That's amazing, Kyle. It really is. Boy, it just feels like, Peter, I know you feel the same way. You remember when he was drafted? Remember that rookie year? Just, just a young face, and, and you just knew he was going to be just a terrific hockey player. But, boy, he just seemed so young when he first started.
And you talk about breaking in with some star power.
Boy, what a team to come and play with.
You look around, you're trying to find your own way, and you got, it's like everybody that steps off the bus is a Hall of Famer.
Guess who you get to live with your first year? McKinnon moves in, he shoots, and shoots that one high. It's a pretty good place to live at, too, when he first started, didn't it?
Yeah, used to play hockey with Patrick Roy's kids.
Racing for the puck. Matt Duchene. Bumped back to the point, held in, shot. Cut off by Duchene. Pushed up ice for Iginla. Got his 18th goal of the season on Saturday against Dallas. Yandel looking for that long pass for Doan. Tipped. And they're calling they're saying icing call on Arizona. No, they're going to have to face off in the neutral zone. All right, we're going to take a break, Peter. We'll come back in a moment with the Avalanche leading the Coyotes by a score of 3-1 here in our second period in Denver.
Mike, a few years ago now, but these two guys were in the same draft class, and you look at it back in 1995, and what's really interesting is Shane Doan was drafted number 7 in Winnipeg, and Iginla was drafted number 11 in Dallas. You know, because they're both right wingers. They're both clubs at that time, Winnipeg and Dallas, were looking for a power forward. But the conversation was one or the other. When you're talking about those guys and how different would their lives have been had Iginla been drafted by the Winnipeg Jets and Doan gone on to go to Dallas, and maybe that's not the player that Dallas would have traded for Nieuwendyk, and all of these things just by where they are picked in the draft.
Pass down low, sent it across, and cleared out by the Avalanche. Avs called for icing.
My favorite thing to do is as we have look at the replay of this, and Hayden doing a great job, Mike, is take every draft year and go wait about 10 years and go back and look and see what you would have done inside of the draft. John Hayden comes just smokes the guy. Of course, Hayden originally drafted by the Buffalo Sabres, started his career with Edmonton.
That was Sam Gagne that he just tossed into the net. That's 2 points in the NBA. Shot in around the boards. Comes up the near side wing. Dragged along by Slobodkovsky. Shot by Cleese on a bounce, and McKenna, the goaltender for Arizona, sends it across. Long pass for Met into the ad zone with the puck. 3-1 lead for Colorado. And the goal scored here in the second period. All 4 came in the first. McLeod, Duchene holding for the Avs. Ekman Larsson scoring for the Coyotes. Iginla. Centering. There's a chance. Score! Tyson Barrie, another beautiful pass by Jerome Iginla. And Barrie finished it up. Second goal tonight from a defenseman, and another terrific looking assist by Jerome Iginla. And the Avs lead this 4-1.
Well, Jerome Iginla's a shooter. I fully expected him to shoot the puck, Mike. Watch him. Right here, I thought he was going to get shot. I thought he was going to spin, and look at him find that passing lane. Great job by Barrie to see the play. No one picks him up. Look at everybody's got the backs to Tyson Barrie. He just comes into that soft spot, throws it short side top shelf. A big 4-1 lead for the Avalanche. But Iginla now, Mike, the last 4 games, 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points for Jerome Iginla.
His 7th goal of the season, number 4, Tyson Barrie.
All right, here's your Kia scoring summary on the first goal of the second period. Tyson Barrie now with 7. Jerome McGinley, another assist. Max Talbot gets the other assist on that goal, his 10th assist of the season. And for Iginla, now 22 assists, and he's at 40 points now, Jerome McGinley, and leading the Avalanche in points.
And, you know, it's funny when something that is told to you just comes true in spades, Mike. Start of the season. Don't expect Jerome McGinley to start cooking until the second half of the season. You know, you got to give him some time. And we were like, wow, how much time is he going to need? You know, because it was 2 goals the first 20. He scored in 1 game the first 20. And then all of a sudden, it just emerges. And you know, the games get bigger, he gets bigger. The games get, you know, more important. His play gets better and better.
Pass out to center ice. Avs now in command of this game. 4-1. The Coyotes, Peter, have yet to get a shot on net during this period. Avs out shooting them 18-5. Long pass for Tanguay. Going off the heel of the stick to the corner. Backhanded around. McKinnon. And for a moment, Mitchell tosses the puck to the corner. For the Avalanche. Well, that's now 8 goals in the last 2 games. We've still got a period and a half to go in this one. McKinnon's pass down the middle for Landeskog. Roughed up along the boards. Puck chipped down to center. Tossed back in. Offside, Colorado.
You know, the Avalanche, Mike, we talk about the offense tonight, but let's not forget the defense and just how well they are playing defensively the last couple of games. Look at, now you, Mike, who was that? Who was that right there? Watch this. Watch him turn, spin. It had a 5 in it, but there was no 2. That Adam put special right there. You just rock that. There's a spot because the referee's not going to call you because you don't wind up and smoke the guy. It's just straight. It's about 12 inches and you just pop the guy.
Yeah, against a pretty big, strong guy.
Oh, Shane Doan. Shane Doan is a monstrous guy. Met him a couple things, and he's one of those cowboy strong guys. He's 6'1", 225. He shakes your hand. You go, I wish you had. I wish you'd just settle off.
Out at center. Puck sent ahead by Reeder of Arizona into the Colorado zone. Avs up 4-1 over the Coyotes. We approach the halfway point of this game. McLeod got the goal scoring started back at 2:54 of the first period. Holden for the Avs. Coming out to center ice. Quick pass ahead for Iginla. It in towards the goaltender, and McKenna covers and gets a face-off.
Well, for Shane Doan, of course, he started his career in Winnipeg, but he has been with the Coyotes now, like for his entire career. It doesn't happen very much anymore in the National Hockey League with free agency and the salary cap and all the things. But Shane Doan, Mike, another 12 goals this year, 9 of them coming on the road. And as I said, I met him a couple of times. Like, what a nice man. I mean, a straight good guy.
He has a reputation of being one of the best guys in the National Hockey League. From behind the net, Avs has got it. Quick pass up ice. Got a hit by Talbot. Duchesne races for the puck. Stays up on his skates. Almost threaded the pass through for Talbot. Broken up by the Coyotes. Vermette. And for Korpikoski. Taken back by the Avs. Talbot to the red line. Makes the pass over. Offside. Colorado. And we'll be back. Halfway through the game, Tyson Barrie's added a goal for the Avs. Let's take a look at who is in the groove. Presented by Groove Subaru.
Well, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Mike, you know, you look at it, 17 goals now from the point, and we got a perfect example of what he does. But there's another interesting number for Ekman-Larsson, Mike. He has 7 game-winning goals. Listen to the names of the defensemen that have had 7 game-winning goals inside of a seat. My buddy, one of my favorites, Tim Horton, Ray Bourque, Al McGinnis, Morris, remember had the year he had with the Colorado Avalanche?
Sure.
And Puna, all had 7 game-winning goals in a season. That's the most ever. And we still have over 20 games to go.
It's a team that's only won 20 games.
Yeah.
Oh, that to me, that's what makes it really amazing. Chance for Duchesne cutting in and couldn't get the shot away. Into the corner again. Pass back to the point. Hayda drills one. Bouncing puck. Stop. Rebound shot by Talbot gets blocked.
He just gives it his all, doesn't he?
He sure does.
He's just flopping around there trying to get that rebound.
Pays the price. Mitchell backhands it in. Cut off by Yandel. And the puck comes out to center. Back defending. Oh, he took a hit, but he gave a slash to Vitale. Oh my goodness, he just two-handed him in the back of the leg. Oh wow. He didn't like getting hit there. Out at center ice, Holden's got it.
He got run. I mean, thank goodness he was able to square himself up a little bit.
Here's the puck. Here's to Everberg. Coyotes chip the puck to center. It's down by Stewart. Angles up in the corner, staying with it. A little support from Everberg. And behind the net, Holden takes a hold of the puck. Scored the power play goal for the Avs. Back in the first period. Up ice and then backhanded wide by Reeder. Coyotes with possession of the Avs zone. Pass to the point. Campbell looking for an opening. He shoots and it's blocked. Back to Campbell again. In the slot. Bouncing puck. Flag down. Shot. And that one whistled wide. Around back of the point again by Campbell. Bouncing puck. Scooped up. Martin up. Behind the net with a pass. Gagne. Makes the handoff. Arcabella. Lose the puck. Avs get it back. Pass up ice. Carried in by Landeskog to O'Reilly. And could make the pass connect across. Back to the point. Barry slides it across. Shot. And redirected to the corner. Gagne got it back for Coyotes. 6:30 to play in the second period. 4-1 for the Avalanche. 3-1 at the end of the first. Tyson Barrie scoring a goal. He is 7th of the season to make it 4-1 here in the second. To the point for Barrie.
One of the things, Mike, that the Avalanche are doing really well in all 3 zones. They talked about it, and they're doing moving their feet. And here's that play by Tanguay, because Mike, when this first started, watch right here. He was off balance, but he was able to square his body up enough. And then he said, "No, I don't think so. Not 1, not 2." You know,
He's chopping a tree there.
yeah. See, he was able to just get it up and protect himself by getting the arm. See the torque on the stick. One thing about Alex, he's only had 1 National Hockey League fight. I think it was way back in 2000 against Nashville, but you know he has got a real temper.
He's a competitor.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He'll get to 800 points, 1,000 games in the National Hockey League. That area, not competing hard. Vermette lifts the puck to center. Back in the Avalanche zone. Erat pass intercepted. Cleach got it back for the Avalanche. Lobbed into the corner. McLeod pushes his man away, but Ekman Larson had the puck. Taken back by McLeod. Hands it back behind the net. Finds Carey, squeezes through a check, and pass in front for Cleach. Just tipped away. Back behind for Cleach. To the point for Stewart. Shoots it around the shelf. Pushed to the corner. Jerome McGinley. A couple of nice assists already in this game. Lost the puck to Vermette. Put back behind the net. Into the corner. Up the wall. And a pass through the middle. The zone. Carried down the center by the Coyotes. And then iced by Arizona. Stopping the clock with 4:51 left. And a 4-1 lead for the Avs. These lucky fans upgraded from the Ram Trucks Fan Zone to lower bowl seats, courtesy of Ram Trucks. You can purchase tickets in section 362 for your chance to win and upgrade to the official truck of your Colorado Avalanche. Face off back in the Coyote zone. Holden turns and shoots. Stick save made by McKenna. Finally, the puck comes free. Duchesne trying to work his way out in front. Scooped away. Pushed out the center by Korpikoski. Duchesne takes it back to the Avs. Pass off the skate of Talbot. Duchesne with the puck. Vermette took it back for the Coyotes. Chased by Talbot. He's got him tied up momentarily. Gave it away from a diving across the. It was broken up by Brandon Gormley. And then cleared out. Well, that looked like it was going to be a perfect opportunity there for the Avs. 4 minutes left to go in the period. Everberg dropped the puck into the Coyote zone. Leslie up. Checked along the wall by Tanguay. Thrown out in front. Off the stick of the goaltender, Mike McKenna. Back to the corner. Vitalik's pass up the middle. Yandel quickly up to center ice. Cross ice pass. Leslie comes in. Pulls up. Waits. Pass down the slot. Yandel, nice move. Pass across. And it's slid wide. Lifted up and out. Yandel take the hold of it.
Nice pass by Yandel.
I was just going to say, there's an example why we'll always hear his name around trade talk time. Cleared out by Arizona. Icing call coming up. There's the whistle. 3:06 left to go in the period.
Right. And Yandel, Mike, it was interesting. I'm watching an interview. Grew up real good friends with Ray Bourque and his family. And he was talking about Ray Bourque, and one of the things they were talking about, great hair. Ray Bourque had great hair. You know, Mike was just always. That's what. But how great Ray was about giving them equipment and, you know, helping the kids out and the advice. He said he had a great crop. And you talk about Boston. I mean, New England. He is Yandel just is absolutely wonderful.
Great hair. Great hair on him.
Great crop.
Peter's been over 19 minutes since the Coyotes have had a shot on goal.
We're stuck at 5 here, you know, deep into the second period.
Varlamov could have just stayed in the locker room. Back down low. Yeah, stops a goal. Gabe Landeskog finished it off, going top shelf, making it 5-1.
Right, this line has been a little quiet tonight. Boy, exploded right there. What a beautiful play by this line. All three guys are going to make a nice play. McKinnon finds O'Reilly. O'Reilly comes back across, and Landeskog, Mike, here we go. 3 in 3 games for Landeskog. Assists in the last 3 games now for McKinnon. Duchesne points in the last 4. It's starting to come. The Avalanche, they know, Mike, with Varley and nets, and if they can start scoring, I mean, the number that they have to get to is 95. We know it's a gaudy number to try to think about when you're sitting where they are. You know what? Their young talent can do it. When they're doing it, they can produce a lot of goals.
Well, you think in the last 5 periods, Peter. This one's not quite over, but including this period, that's 9 goals in 5 periods for the Avalanche.
Number 29,
4 against Dallas. They've got 5 already against Arizona tonight. We're just closing out the second period. Holden shot misses the net.
From O'Reilly and McKinnon. 17-18.
Goal. Just over 2 minutes left to go in the period. And Ekman Larson has got the only goal for the Coyotes. Slams it in towards Varlamov. Meanwhile, a penalty is being called. We'll give you the details when we come back. Tyson Barrie and Gabe Landeskog have scored in this period.
Mike, fascinating yesterday in Chicago. As we watch this penalty, watch Stewart come across. Now, does he interfere with the guy right there, and then the stick comes up? Because yesterday in Chicago, Crosby took a penalty.
I know.
And he didn't really touch the guy, and Oduya went down. He was in the box, Crosby was in the box. The referees got together and rescinded the penalty. I have never, ever
You know who that
seen
referee is?
No idea.
It's the local referee here.
Oh, is that right?
Brad Watson. Brad Watson is the referee. Pass in front, tipped wide of the net. Well, we got to stop in action.
Mike, he got hit right in the head.
Mike McKenna playing his first game for Arizona.
Good call, but this is you got to play the moment a little bit. It's a 5-1 game, and you saw that he got hit right in the head. And the referee knew right away that he wasn't moving correctly. Watch the puck. Boom. And it just. The puck goes over, the referee makes the call. Boy, oh boy. For a guy like McKinnon, Michael, as we mentioned, you look at that's his NHL career, but he's been around. He's 31 years old now, and he's been a lot of places. You get an NHL game, and their first one, they're gonna have to do more than that. They can. Well, I'm fine. It's Monday. We're in Colorado. 2 and 2 is 4. That was a test when I played. Where are you? What's 2 and 2, and how many fingers?
Well, he's staying in. And the Avs continue on the power play. Only on Toby Reeder, high sticking at 18:01 when the Avs on their second power play opportunity of the game. Nick Holden scored the power play goal for the Avs in the first period.
Arizona penalty. Number 8, Tobias
Duchesne at the puck, pass into the middle. Mitchell's got it.
Time of the penalty, 18 minutes, 1 second of this second.
Back to the point for Holden. Duchesne takes it. Work back to the wall. Top of the circle. Shot. McKenna knocked it down and then covered. On that chance by Zach Redmond. Riley didn't like Tanguay getting close to the net.
Again for Tanguay, Mike. Right, watch in front of the net, number 40, Alex Tanguay. He was the screen in the first play. Guy comes across, couple of shots. No. But again, for Patrick Roy, he's had Everberg out there in those 6-on-5 situations. He wants somebody to go right to the front of the net. Get somebody in, and in the restructured power play for the Avalanche, Tanguay has been that guy.
Let's get the puck in. Still working on this power play as we go to the last minute of the period. Shot down the ice by the Coyotes. Varlamov. Leave it for Iginla to pick up, being trailed by Doan. Gives the puck to Barrie. Landeskog dropped it in, chasing the puck, kicked it back behind the net, cut off by Ekman Larson. 30 seconds to go in the period. Iginla winds it around, but nobody manning the point. Barrie hustled, but not able to get to the puck in time to keep it in. Mike shoots it back into the Arizona zone.
Mike, we're going to see possibly in 16 seconds, 15.8, Mike, one of the rarest of the rares.
Well, Peter, it's never happened for the Avalanche.
Yeah, oh, is that right?
The fewest shots the Avs have allowed in a period, it's happened 8 times. So if there's no shots in the next 15 minutes and 8 seconds, the first time in the history of the Avalanche that they gave up no shots in a period.
Well, come on, Mr. O'Reilly.
Avs do get the puck. Barrie's got it. Long pass out in center. Carried in down the wall by McKinnon. 4 seconds. Shot. There's another chance, and it goes wide. And Another save by McKenna. Folks, you've just seen something tonight. It's never happened for the Avalanche. Varlamov could have stayed in the locker room. No shots on net for Arizona during the second period.
And the Avalanche now 27 shots on goal. But Mike, again, if you're building, you take a little bit of that New York Ranger game, the last period, and now 5 consecutive periods where you're scoring goals and you're beating the opposition.
2 more goals in the period. Tyson Barrie at 7:28. Gabe Landeskog at 17:18. And the Avalanche lead this one 5-1. Next up is the Subaru Intermission Report. Colorado Avalanche Hockey on Altitude is brought to you by Groove Subaru. On Broadway or online at grooveauto.com. Pepsi, proud to be the official soft drink of the Colorado Avalanche. And by the Ford Fusion, offering the availability of all-wheel drive with big MPGs, smart technology, and unsurpassed quality. See what happens when fun meets the road. Ford, go further. It is time for Lexus on the ice with the Avs leading 5-1. Landeskog Peter got one of the goals, and boy, he's been playing well lately.
Yeah, for Gabe Landeskog, now goals in each of the last 3 games. He had the first goal in each of the last 2, New York Rangers, then against Dallas. Tonight he gets the 5th, and his line mates. The one line that has not been moved around has been Landeskog on the left, O'Reilly in the middle, and McKinnon on that right side, and they come through tonight. And Mike, we've got a goalie change, but not the goalie change you would have thought after a 5-1 lead. It's not Arizona, it's for the Colorado Avalanche. Reto Berra in nets tonight, or back in net, and you hope you just, you know, no shots on goal for Semyon Varlamov in that second period.
But try not to read into it, but would you think it's a case of, you and I have talked about the schedule that's coming up. You feel good about the way the Avs are playing. Let's at least save Varlamov.
Yeah.
They got some tough games coming.
Absolutely.
When Colorado scores in the third period, you score with Subway. Go to your local Subway restaurant tomorrow for any regular 6-inch sub for just $3 after 3. You know, last time that Reto Berra started a game was against Arizona. A game in which the Avalanche fell behind 3-0. He was taken out of the game. Pickard came in, Calvin Pickard, and the Avs eventually came back to win it. Now, we were just guessing as to the change. We haven't heard anything from the coaching staff as regards to any kind of an injury for Varlamov. But the goaltending change, Barrett in for Varlamov. Coming in, shot save made by McKenna. Jerome McKinley cruising right in, and McKenna made the save.
Like when you watch this, Mike, listen to this number. You know, we talked about the Avalanche. They felt they've been struggling scoring goals. But the 4 5-on-5 goals they have tonight, Mike, guess where they moved into in the league? A tie for 8 on the most 5-on-5 goals. Tied for 8 with Washington. The Chicago Blackhawks are 7th, 114. I mean, they're right in the mix. Top 10 5-on-5 in the league as far as goals scored.
Peter, does it just accent the fact that the power play is just not helped the cause?
Yeah, but if that gets going, and the right, because we're looking at the situation now, the right guys are starting to score too for the Avalanche. Those guys that can go on a run.
Shane and Landeskog both scored in this game. Shot in. Careful off the glass. As Coyote team without a shot on net during the second period. First time that's ever happened against the Avs. There's a shot. Barrett has to make a save. There down the wing by Campbell. Side of the net, Shane Doan. Pass to the far sideboards. Back to the point. Shot around into the corner. Just to accent the part, Peter, we were talking about the opponents coming up. How about the next 4? You've got Los Angeles, defending Stanley Cup champs. You have to go to Chicago, always a tough place, but fun games. Then you're back home against Tampa Bay, one of the best teams in the East. And then you're on the road in Nashville against one of the best teams in the West. So the next 4 games, tough opponents.
I mean,
for Colorado.
And then you're at Dallas, and they'll be fighting for their life like every other club in the same position as the Colorado Avalanche. And then Minnesota. So, I mean, like, now that they're through it all, it's So it's an interesting move by Patrick Waugh. Had it been a shutout, Mike, I don't, probably doesn't.
Pass through the middle. Down the near side for Gagne. His shot goes wide of the net. Yandel drills one that gets tipped and goes wide. Back to the point for Stone. He shoots, score! And it gets tipped and beats Reto Berra on the second shot he faces since coming in. It's a 5-2 game.
The Avalanche had a practice yesterday. There were 6 guys, 6 shooters on the ice. The guys that you would kind of expect. The guys didn't play the night before. Elliott and Barry and a couple other guys. Cleach. Alex Tanguay was actually one of those guys out there. And Reto Berra. And then after practice, Mike went in and had a nice talk with him. It's been a long year for him. I mean, as you said, the last time he started a game was a long time ago.
That was November 25th.
Yeah, so we're talking a long time. And Mike, you face a lot of shots. You work. You know that Semyon Varlamov is going to be the guy. But he said the Avalanche have done a terrific job of talking, staying, positive, working with them all the time. Francois there, doing all the drills that you have to do. But it's a long day when you're that backup goaltender and you're going to face shot after shot, morning skate, and afterwards the extra guys have to skate.
Subway scoring summary. Mark Arcabello was standing inside of the net and he tipped that one. Michael Stone took the shot. Martin gets the assist. And it's a 5-2 hockey game. Center in front, shot, another save by Barrett, wrap around, no goal. Well, the red light came on, but the referee said that was not a goal. Then we got a little skirmish happening after the whistle was blown.
Well, for Reto Berra, like he's a big man. I'm telling you, when I was sitting beside him yesterday after practice, I mean, he's not just tall. He's a big guy, and he just comes across. Because Mike, I'll tell you, that was the last thing he would have wanted is for this one to go in, and two quick goals in less than 4 minutes.
He had to reach back with that stick and just made a terrific save.
But he was saying, he's been talking to, Craig Billington, who's the management part of the Colorado Avalanche. Remember Craig Billington, what a great job he did as that backup goaltender. First for Waugh, then he went to Washington and did it with Ole the goalie there in Washington. And it is a very specific art to understand exactly what the role is when you're that backup. And Mike, when you're doing it for really the first time in your career, it's an interesting thing. He didn't do it when he was playing in the Swiss Leagues. He didn't do it last year in Calgary and Abbotsford. And now all of a sudden he's doing it here.
Well, no review. Arizona already with 5 shots in this period. Matches the total for the first and second periods combined. Jumped in around the boards. McKenna slows it down. Makes the pass. Up the board. Stone. Feeds it ahead. Ekman-Larsson, long pass taken by Vermette. Pushes down the wall. Into the corner. And the puck lifted out towards center ice. Knocked down with a glove by Stone. Cranked it off the far side wall. Talbot got it back. Down the middle for Duchesne. Threw it across for a Ginlet. Went off his backhand and wide. Holden keeps it in play. Ekman-Larsson makes the pass up the boards. Stone. Comes straight. Ekman-Larsson again with the puck. Being hounded by Tanguay. Stone makes the pass. Out to center for Vermette. Puts the puck ahead. Aired in by Mitchell. Poke check. Follows up. Puts the puck behind the net. Tanguay got to it first. Pass back to the point. This connects and it's all the way down in the Colorado end. Pass hustle. Came out of the zone. Offside Arizona. Visit your Colorado Kia dealers today to discover Kia's full lineup of high quality, stylish, dependable vehicles Go to ColoradoKiaDealers.com and learn more.
All right, Mike, let's play our game. Who do you want to win? Minnesota at Vancouver.
I think you're always trying to get the team that's ahead to lose. Ahead in the standings.
But that would give Minnesota then 65 points, and they would be that club.
I still think you want the team that's in the playoffs to lose.
To lose. So you want Minnesota to win.
It's hard to root for, isn't it? But I still think you're trying to get teams that are already in, teams that are catchable, to fall out.
And you want that would keep the number at 65 also.
Right.
As far as you know.
And if the Avs win this one, now you're at 59. You're at 59 points.
Yep. And let's have another look at the Western Conference here. Team games to look at, obviously, Arizona, Colorado, Boston at Calgary. Now you can look at that number for 65. Edmonton at Winnipeg. And then Mini at Vancouver, Tampa Bay at Los Angeles later. So, I mean,
I think that was an easy one. You're rooting for Tampa Bay in that game.
Way to go.
We got it figured out.
We got Colorado we want to win against Arizona. Edmonton we want to beat Winnipeg. Tampa Bay, LA. Boston beats. We want them to beat Calgary.
Well, do you have a different sense about the Minnesota-Vancouver game?
I don't know which club I think is going to take a little bit of a dive. I don't think Minnesota's going anywhere. I just think they're just going to keep like marching. I think what are they? They've had points in 9 consecutive games and they're rolling. And Dubnyk just has been a revelation for them, and they've got that confidence and they're healthy. They're scoring some goals.
The final, Winnipeg has won their game in a shootout. So now they're at 70. And they look like that looks like the team that for the first time is moving back to Winnipeg. They're getting a team back in Winnipeg. Better win second in Atlanta. Going to make the playoffs unless something disastrous happens.
Yeah, see, and what the trade did, I mean, you and I were just up there with the Avalanche, not just you and I hanging around Winnipeg, the Avalanche up in Winnipeg, and you watched that club, and because of injuries to the forwards, Kane, Byfuglien was a forward, and he likes playing defense. Paul Maurice does a great job of using him effectively on defense, and now they get Myers in back there, and Stafford can move into that spot where Byfuglien was, and not miss a beat. And that's a big.
Stafford scored a big shootout goal for them. Was it against Detroit?
Yes.
I think he had the winner. He was the fourth shooter. So boy, you talk about coming to a team. How good must that feel? You come to a new team and score the shootout winner for your new club. Shot by Yandel, and his body goes wide to the net. Gagne shoots off the side of the net and covered right at the post by Berra. Coyotes have scored a goal here in the third. And it's a 5-2 hockey game. Let's answer tonight's Did You Know question presented by Stevenson Automotive. We asked you earlier, besides Ginla and Doan, who's the only other active player from the 1995 entry draft, Stefan Robidas. The only player still playing.
Now with Toronto, and again, he's one of those guys, Mike. He went last year from Dallas to Anaheim, and they were looking for some depth. And he's one of those, very valuable guys who can play well, getting a little older. I wouldn't be surprised now with Toronto moving possibly everybody in there.
Well, they had a nice trade with Nashville.
Yeah, big trade. They got a first-round pick. That was the price that they wanted for Franzen and Tortorella, and just an interesting trade.
Well, what makes it interesting, Peter, they were originally drafted by Nashville.
Both of them, man.
Yeah. There to center ice by Duchesne. Shot in towards McKenna. Doan. And a long pass across, taken by Vermette onside. There's the puck to the corner. Trying to go back to the point, but Ekman Larsson's got to chase the puck back into the Arizona zone. 12:25 to go. Offside, Coyotes.
Well, by coming into tonight's game, there were 9 players, all defensemen, who had 100 hits and 100 block shots. Joining that tonight, Keon Hayden. He's got four block shots, 101 block shots, now 126. And a save right here. It looks like, Mike, it's his stick, along with Barris, that just poked that puck away. But Mike, Shea Weber, Doughty, a couple of guys on that group of 10 defensemen that have done that. There's some big name defensemen. You have to be really good to get those kind of numbers. And tough.
Got by Barry. Deflects and goes behind the net. Dan Gates flicked it into the slot. Gets by Tyson Barry. Geddon's got the angle. But Reeder took away the puck. And Barry grabbed it back. Moves it high in the air. It'll drop down into the Arizona zone. Pass by Stone to center. Tipped in. Cut off by Holden. Pushed back to center. Teed up by Stone. Wrapped it around the board. Holden smacks it. Stone keeps it in. Landeskog played it back behind the net. 11:10 still to go in our third period. 5-2 lead for the Avs. Gagne to the point. Yandel put it to the side of the net. Marcabello in the slot. Shot goes wide. And a puck grabbed and skated out to center ice by McKinnon. Dances around Stone. Catches up to the puck. Gives to the trailer Landeskog. Passes in the middle for O'Reilly. Broken up by the Coyotes. And O'Reilly stole it back for a moment. Back towards the point. Kept in play by Redmond. Turns and shoots. Glove save by McKenna.
You know, it's interesting this year, Mike, in the draft. Right now in the NHL draft, Arizona, I believe, is sitting 4th. And that gives them a 9.5% chance. And they, because of these two
to get the number 1 pick.
Get the number 1 pick. Because of these, Mike, you look at it right here. Because of these two kids, McDavid and Eichel, they have restructured the entire draft. All 14 clubs that missed the playoffs have an opportunity for the number 1 pick. And next year, actually, they're moving it so the first 3 picks will be unlocked, not just the first pick. So they're really changing how the draft's going, because they just do not want to see teams. And I don't believe teams would do it. Would
tanking, right?
Would be tanking it. I've never ever thought that would do it. But here's again, Connor McDavid. I got to think, you know, if it was to happen right now, it would be number 1. He's just fascinating player. Jack, I mean, he is also U.S. kid, tremendous talent. You're not going to lose out with either one of the clubs. But the club that is going to be, because the odds have changed so dramatically. The second club has only a 86.5% chance of losing the pick. They only have a 13.5%, which means you can drop one spot from 2 to 3, and that's an Ovechkin-Malkin drop down to 3 type of situation.
Right now, it's Buffalo that has the highest percentage chance, right?
And
of getting the number 1
pick. It went from 25, they lowered it to 20% chance.
The new part is everybody's got a chance. It's not in the playoffs. Covered by McKenna. But Max Talbot racing to the front of the net with a chance. There is going to be a penalty. And we'll be back with all the details. Time for tonight's recap, delivered to you by Jimmy Johns in the first period. Lots of action. Great start for the Avs. Cody McLeod, 5th goal of the season at 2:54. And then only 9 seconds later, Matt Duchene made it 2-0. Ekman Larson with a first period goal for the Coyotes, but the Avs countered that with a late power play goal, breaking an 0-for-32 slump. Nick Holden at 14:58 made it a 3-1 lead, and the Avs have not looked back since, and now are ahead 5-2, and on the power play for the 3rd time in the game. They're 1 for 2 tonight. Nick Holden with that power play goal back in the first period, as we showed you. Landeskog. Pass across for Iginla. Back high for Barry. Popped away from him. Jim Scherr coming in. Pulls up, waits. Gonna slide it back. Carried out to center and slid back towards the blue line for Stone. Shoots it in towards Barra. He'll drop the puck for Iginla to take. Carried out to center by McKinnon. Coming wide. Throws into the corner. Back to the point. Holden. And then Tanguay taken away. David Moss carries to center ice for the Coyotes. Shot. That gets stopped by Barrett. I still laugh when I think about the David Moss draft grade we've been talking about. McDavid, Eichel, big draft that's coming up. David Moss, when he was playing junior hockey, didn't think he was going to get drafted. He didn't go to the draft at the time. And in fact, was working at a pizza place. And they called him, the team that drafted him, Calgary, called him, with this picture. He goes, who is this? What kind of pizza do you want? Stop joking around. No, we did draft you. So there's a difference between a Connor McDavid and David Moss on draft day. And that's the end of the power play. Keith Yandel comes out of the penalty box and gets a hold of the puck. That's 1 for 3. They had one shot in that last power play opportunity that went on target. Just over 7 minutes left to go in this game. Dumped in from center by Landeskog. By McKinnon. Landeskog got it back. Delivers the puck to McKinnon. Centered. Shot up high by Landeskog. And the puck ends up going out of play.
That's the Colorado Avalanche, Mike, and they're going to have to be good everywhere. But you can see it right now. They're looking down at their 10th win in the last 15 games here at home. And they've been starting to score some goals. And, you know, the shots on goals against are getting better. Obviously tonight, you know, it is fantastic. 12 shots on goal with, you know, just a little more than 7 minutes remaining. That's what you want. But, you know, it's going to have to be this kind of airtight hockey against those clubs they're playing next. Did I ever tell you my draft story?
I'd love to hear it.
My dad called and said, "You've been drafted," right? I said, "Dad, that's impossible. They cut the draft out. I got my draft number. I can't." I was one of the 3 years where you could get. I had my draft number was 216.
Right.
That's always been my favorite number.
Yeah, I bet.
But I thought he meant that I had been drafted into the military. He says, "No, Buffalo." I said, "Do they even have like an army base?" Or what? I was in. He was excited that I got drafted in the 6th round by the Buffalo Sabres. I thought I was drafted by the United States Army.
He's all excited. You think it's the worst call ever?
Hey, well, what are you doing? Aren't you happy? Oh, yeah, great. Thanks, Dad. I'll shave my head right now.
When does boot camp begin? Hey, I can just picture you going up to boot camp. Oh, give me about an hour. That'd be it.
I'd find any excuse in the book.
Ekman Larsson has the puck on the center and is tipped back into the corner. So we're under 6 minutes remaining in this game. Ekman Larsson shoots. He gets tipped. Bouncing puck. Gagne threw it off the side of the Avalanche net. Dug out by Korpikoski in the slot. Shot. Nice kick save by Barra. And the puck is iced by the Avalanche.
And Mike, may I just say one thing? I did grow up in San Diego.
Oh, that's a big-time base down there.
They got the naval base and the Marine. I have so much respect for those guys and ladies that are soldiers. Because I watched them up close and personal. What they went through to become Marines, it is unbelievable. And nowadays, you see these.
Everyone, those Navy SEALs.
Oh my goodness! It is so fantastic what they do for us. And I don't for a second want anyone to think that I don't have the utmost respect for the soldiers. I lived, our high school was right there. There was Army housing right there.
2-on-1 developing. Duchesne shoots and misses. Tipped in by Redmond. Circles the puck around. cut off. Carried out to center ice. Then shut into center by Ured. 5 minutes remaining. Long pass to center for Tanguay. Handoff goes to Mitchell. Back to the point for Redmond. Side of the net for Everberg. And behind the net, Tanguay centers off the skate of Mitchell. Everberg handles his way to the boards. Tanguay gets tripped up. Tanguay keeps it in play for just a moment. Tapped away by Moss up ice. Reeder pushes the puck to the corner. Kept in at the point. Vermette. Pass across for Ekman-Larsson. Stays up on his skates. Tanguay, though, takes away the puck. And Ekman-Larsson broke it up. Pushed the puck to center ice. Pass back in. The Avalanche and the Coyotes play one more time. It'll be on March 19th in Arizona. It'll be interesting to see what will the Coyotes have done with their club at that point. How different will they look? What kind of trades will general manager Don Maloney have made, if any, to that point?
It'll be interesting to keep a score sheet from tonight's game and compare it to that score sheet in March 19th.
Shot saved by McKenna. Got it in the glove. And then Landeskog, unhappy with the play in front of the net, gets up and gets angry. The linesmen, referees, making sure things settle down. Landeskog was taken down. He got angry, and we'll be back in a few moments.
Can I tell you another one of my stories?
Love to hear another one of your stories.
My dad was part of the New Jersey Devils team when they were for drafting, and it didn't have the pomp and circumstance, or whatever that term is, that it does now. But the players would come and sit in the stands, and it was a two-day thing. The first day, you know, you're chosen, and all the kids would come down. This kid wasn't picked the first day, and he wasn't picked the second day. And he's sitting in the bleachers by himself. He is the only player there that has not been drafted. Somebody said, went up and said, who is this kid? And one of the teams had a draft pick, and because this was before it was only 7 rounds, there was almost unlimited number of rounds. Somebody said, please, draft this kid. So they did. I won't tell you which club, but they did draft him. And he comes running down. He gets the hat on, and he takes a sweater from there, and he's like the 11th round pick, 296 in the draft, and everybody is just happy. And he was just a marvelous young guy. Never really made it as a career in hockey, but it was like he was just sitting there waiting, and he was waiting and waiting, and then finally you know. But he ended up playing the minor leagues for a while, and he had a fun pro career.
Oh, that's a terrific story. All that poor kid for those days, though. Just waiting. Oh. Behind the net. Picked up by Korpikoski. The lives with Barry. 2:20 to go in the game. Stone shoots, and the puck goes wide. They have to be 2-0 this season against the Coyotes. We're going to lose for the 31st time this season for the Avs. They'll get to 24 wins. This year, 59 points at the home. That 15 of those 24 wins come here at home. That'll be a 2-game winning streak now for the Avs after losing 4 in a row. This will be 2 games in a row, picking up the W. But folks, it gets a little tougher. Their opponents coming up. The defending champs on Wednesday in Chicago on Friday. And then a couple more tough ones. Got Tampa Bay at home, and then on the road in Nashville. But for the Avs, not for a little while, playing back-to-back. You got some time between games, which always helps.
Oh, yeah. Just give these guys one day. And Patrick Roy has been really monitoring their ice time. They've had lots of days off.
Colorado offside, coming into the Arizona zone. All right, we talked about the next opponent for the Avs. Well, Wednesday, They're taking on the Kings. You can watch that one on NBCSN. And we'll be back with you when the Avs are in Chicago against the Blackhawks. Always a great game. Join us, please, at 6 o'clock right here on Altitude. Everybody, whether you're Avs fan, Blackhawks fan, just a hockey fan, Colorado and Chicago. We've just seen great game after great game.
And it'll be a different brand of game. And that's what's interesting for the Avalanche over the next little while. You've got LA, and LA is the prototypical built for the playoffs team. They're big, they play hard.
And Peter, they need wins. They're just like the Avs. They need some wins to get in.
Absolutely.
They're not a lock right now.
No, they're outside. They're not in yet. They're on the outside. So, and again, we talked about it last game. Of all the clubs, the top clubs we'd like to see not make it, LA Kings are #1 going away.
They won a cup when they were the 8th seed.
86. They won their 2 cups. They won their 2 cups. They were the 6th seed, and they were the 8th seed.
So it's funny. They just feel like, we just got to get in.
Yeah.
But boy, they've got a tough road ahead of them as well. They got Tampa Bay tonight, and then they'll face the Avalanche on Wednesday.
And for Mike, the second shot went in, and you just went, oh boy, here we go. And Barra has settled down, made a couple of big saves, got a little help maybe from a defenseman, but he's looked sharp and has made some really nice saves.
After the draw, shot another nice save. That was Ekman Larsson. Sends a lot of shots to the net. Barra made that save.
Well, they've had 11 shots on goal in this period, and well, I'll tell you, I guess we'll find out for sure what Patrick Roy was doing by Semyon Varlamov not played this third period. It could be any number of things. We're assuming it was just, okay, lots of games coming up. You got a 5-point lead. You're playing well defensively. But you certainly hope that is the case, and then nothing certainly more injury front.
30 seconds to go in the game. Paul Carey backhands the puck in. On the wide of McKenna. Shot goes wide of the net. From the point, shot by Hayda, and he cranks one that misses. Dumps it around with a dozen seconds left to go. Scooped around the boards. Well, those folks still here. Standing up, starting to cheer. Those folks who have been here the last couple of games, seen the 2-game winning streak. And they've seen 9 goals scored by the Avs. And some good defensive play as well.
And for the Avalanche, back-to-back games where they were in complete control all the way through. That last game against Dallas, they won each period. Here tonight, they didn't win this third period, but they certainly were in complete control throughout the game.
And so for the Avalanche, that gets them to 59 points. And a record of 15, 11, and 3 at home. And they're 2-0 against Arizona. So for the Avalanche, 5 goals by 5 different goal scorers. They get a power play goal. They get that monkey off the back. And they set a record allowing 0 shots on net during the second period. That had never been done before. So the Avs continue their celebration on their way to the locker room. See Duchesne with a goal tonight and an assist. Varlamov gets the victory. He's now 16, 14, and 7 this year. He's 1-0 against Arizona. So as the Avs head to the locker room, let's listen in for the announcement of tonight's 3 stars presented by Aspire Natural Sports Drinks. And here is the announcement of tonight's 3 stars.
Now for tonight's 3 stars of the game, as selected by Mike Kelly of the Associated Press. Tonight's 3rd star from the Avalanche, notching his first NHL point with an assist tonight, number 28, Paul Carey. Tonight's 2nd star from the Avalanche with 2 assists, number 12, Jarome Iginla. And tonight's 1st star, also from the Avalanche with a goal and an assist in the evening, number 9, Matt Duchesne.
Thanks, Roach. Matt, last 2 games, 9 goals for this offense. You guys won a couple here at home. Got a power play goal tonight. I know that was important. How good this one feel?
Yeah, I think we feel like it's about time. So I felt good. We took care of business tonight. Everybody through the lineup played outstanding, and you know, it's a great team win. And now we're looking forward to LA.
6 goals in your last 5 games. You got your 300th career NHL point here tonight. That's got to be a nice milestone for you.
Thank you. I didn't even know. Gabe told me after the second period. So yeah, hopefully a few more to come.
Confidence high right now, but you got the LA Kings coming in here on Wednesday.
It's a huge game. It's one we got to win. It's obviously a team we're fighting with right now. So it's one of those 4-point games. So you know, we'll enjoy this one tonight and, you know, refocus tomorrow.
Thanks, Matty.
Thank you.
That's Matt Duchene. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Kyle. Big night for Matt Duchene and the Avalanche as they beat the Arizona Coyotes 5-2.